My name is Davey Muise, and I'm a singer of a Boston hardcore band called Vanna. So the year is 1985. The place is South Boston, Massachusetts. There's this married couple, the name of the Polinos, and they're the biggest drug dealers on the East Coast. They run heroin and cocaine up and down the entire East Coast and all of New England. One night, the door got busted down by ATF and FBI and police. The whole place got raided. Everyone went to jail. Later that night, one of the police officers laying in bed, and he felt something in his chest, and he had to get up, and he had to go back to the scene and back to the apartment. Couldn't figure out why. Called his partner and called two other officers, and they said, we had to go back to this house. Let's just go back in plain clothes, and I'm looking for something. I don't know what it is, but we gotta go. Just trust me. The police officer that led the charge went into the bedroom, proceeded to empty the closet, move the mattresses, take everything out, and he opens up the drawer of the dresser, and in the top drawer, and he moves a bunch of clothes, and there's an 8-month-old child in the top drawer. He's not crying, he's breathing, but very non-responsive. Before he picked the baby up, he saw that the baby's arm was covered in blood. So as he picked him up, he wiped it down and realized that he had a cut on his wrist. And he could only assume that was from the baby reaching out to be taken out of the drawer and having the drawer slammed on his wrist. And every day, every morning when I wake up and I have my coffee, I rub the scar on my wrist as a reminder that I'm here and I'm alive for a reason. I was put into foster care, and within a year I was adopted by a loving family. And that sense of abandonment was completely gone from me. I was a part of something finally, a family that actually wanted me. So about when I turned 12 years old, I told my mother I wanted to play an instrument. I met a guy in my church who plays drums. So I started taking lessons from him, and that's all I could think about was just being on stage and playing in a band. So that's what I did. I booked shows in my high school. I'd play for anyone who needed a drummer. But then I did something that most teenage boys do. I fell in love. I was with this girl, and she was all that mattered. So music started to fall away. One thing led to another, and she ended up getting pregnant, and she ended up having a baby, and I raised that baby with her for 2 months before I found out that that baby was not mine at all. And instead of running back to music and running back to the things that I love, I just sunk into a depression. I started drinking, started taking drugs. I just wanted to escape completely. I just started getting buried deeper and deeper and deeper into it all, till one day I just had enough. As I'm debating whether anyone is even paying attention to me, I pushed all my friends away. I pushed my family members away. I felt so alone. And one night I had it. I was sick of everything. So I grabbed a bottle of pills, and right when I dumped them all out, my phone rang. It was my friend that was over in Afghanistan. I said, hey man, how are you? And he said back to me, what are you doing? What's going on with you right now? I said, nothing, man. I'm good. Everything's great, as I'm sitting here with a bottle of pills in my hand. I said, no, it's not, man. People have seen you. You don't look well. You're not playing music. You haven't talked to anybody. And I know all this, and I'm in Afghanistan. It took that phone call all the way from across the world for me to realize that people do care, and that I was pushing everybody else away. So after that point, started booking a bunch of tours. I ended up booking a tour with Vanna from Boston. And we got to talking, and they ended up asking me to join the band. And for me, that was a really big step. They were doing something that I wanted to do so badly. So I took that leap, and I joined their band. Every song that I wrote, I made sure it was super personal. Every show that we played, I made sure I talked to as many kids as I possibly can. Because if I can help keep somebody else alive, my life is now worth it. We played a show in Columbus, Ohio, and I ended up meeting this kid. He grabbed me and asked if he could talk to me real quick. And he looked at me and said, I tried to kill myself because I had nothing left. I tried to kick drugs, and when I tried to kick drugs, all my friends left me, and my girlfriend left me, and I had nobody, and I felt alone. So I tried to end my life. So I looked at him and said, what's your last name, man? He said, McIntyre. I said, cool, man. Well, every great family, every great name, every great legacy had to start somewhere. And right now, today, you can start. You can make the McIntyre name something to be reckoned with. And wouldn't you know, a few years later, Chris came running up to me at another show, and I was so proud of him because he got a job, he had a girlfriend, he looked so healthy, like he was doing so well. And that's when I realized I just start being comfortable with the uncomfortable. I just step out of anything that I was doing. I just share my story so that other people felt like they could come forward and share their story. And so much this world can just bury us up to our necks in problems and ordeals and just crap. And it's up to us to find our shovel to dig our way out. And once we're out of that hole, it's our responsibility to go find other people that are buried up to their necks and dig them out of their holes. And for me, my shovel is music. What's yours?